This is a railroad crossing sign. It is just one of many failed attempts by our government to solve a fundamental problem. People are idiots. Hello, and welcome back to Lean on Success, where process improvement is self-improvement. My name is Ben. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, and today we're continuing our Gemba In Real Life series, more affectionately known as G.I.R.L. But before we jump in, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content. So here's a quick refresher. Gemba is a Japanese word that means the place where the truth can be found. This series illustrates how lean methodology is active, not just in the business world, but in our everyday lives. So let's get back to our example. The 1860s saw the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, and railcar quickly became a popular and profitable means for people to travel. 15 years later, the first commercial automobile was released by Carl Benz. And when Henry Ford started mass producing affordable cars, the automobile suddenly became a much more preferable choice for long distance travel. Now, to keep up with automobile demand, the government started building roads that could accommodate the traffic. It was inevitable that many of these roads would intersect the pre-existing railways. For the first time in history, automobiles being smashed by locomotives became a worldwide hazard. Which brings us back to our humble railroad sign. This is the government's attempt to save lives, to warn would-be victims to look both ways before crossing the tracks. And at first, it worked. Drivers were more cautious when approaching these intersections. But after a while, the newness of the signs faded into the surrounding landscape. Drivers again fell victim to barreling locomotives. But why did this continue to happen? It's really quite simple. People are idiots. So what was the government's response to this? Part of the logic was that trains ran much less frequently than cars across these intersections. So drivers became so used to not seeing any trains that they stopped looking for them. So if the railroad sign was improved with lights and sirens that would flash when a train was approaching, it would properly alert drivers to look out for the train. And at first it worked. Crashes decreased. The improvements were working. But alas, the change wasn't permanent. After a while, drivers started ignoring the lights and sirens. Maybe they were hard of hearing. Maybe the signs malfunctioned. But maybe, just maybe, people are idiots. But the government wasn't done yet. Undeterred, yet another sign improvement was on the way. This time, in addition to lights and sirens, the signs now featured automated arms that would lower and physically block the road as trains approached. And at first, it worked. People avoided colliding with the arms. But, much to the government's chagrin, drivers managed to swerve around the barriers and succumb to the wrath of the runaway train. Now there was no doubt. Come on, say it with me. People are idiots. The government went back to the drawing board. Now, many of the busier railroad crossings have been replaced with bridges that literally place the train and the cars on different planes. This became the most effective way to protect drivers from themselves. This concept is illustrated in lean training by a term called Poka-Yoke. Poka-Yoke is derived from the Japanese word that means idiot-proofing. The purpose of a Poka-Yoke is to continuously improve a preventative measure to make it difficult or impossible to make a mistake. Here are some additional examples of Poka-Yoke. This is an example of an online form. The form does not allow the user to submit it unless all of the required fields are filled out. This is a warning light on the dashboard of an automobile. This particular warning is telling the driver that it's time for their next oil change so that the engine and other mechanical parts won't be destroyed from neglect. This is a safety plug for a hair dryer. If the dryer is accidentally dropped in water, the plug will interrupt the current flowing to the dryer so that anyone near it will not be electrocuted. Poka-Yoke is absolutely necessary in all of our everyday lives. After all, you can't stop people from being idiots, but you just might be able to stop them from being dead. Did you find any of this interesting? Did I completely bore you to death? Did I get something horribly wrong? Let me know down in the comments and share this video with your friends and family. Until next time.